and that could be a video experience which plays out. Or I could play a game in it if one wanted. Or I could just play full song. So this is, I mean, we call this movie books as a concept, but this is just an example of how you've taken a core product, which is a film, and converted it into a 20-page interactive experience. And I think, it's an app. I mean, now try calling that, to a consumer that, hey, buy this app or something. So that's just...
And movie as an app and movie as a playbook, it's a very interesting concept. In fact, like an investor and a lot of Hollywood studios are also trying this, where right now if you buy like an optical media and you're playing, it's a pretty linear experience. For a director cuts, you have to insert another DVD. And most of the platform we are talking in terms of mobility, there is no optical media drive. I mean, there might be memory, but there's no optical media drive. So only way to consume is a digital way. So there's a lot of experimentation happening as a movie as an app. You can download some of those applications, Movie Touch from Sony Pictures and those kind of thing. And that has a director's cut, storyboards, along with the full-fledged 1080p movie, both streaming as well as download. So experience like that will kind of like allow you more stickiness. Your experience is not done with the movie when you just watch movie and gone, but you can do like an in-app purchases, you can also do like a storyboard, you can learn, you can also have this movie book kind of experience. In fact, Neeraj showed me that application 4 years back, but it's actually making sense. So a lot of this thing, there's a humongous amount of convergence and consolidation already happening in, especially in mobile entertainment economy, and these are the prime example. And we are thankful that Neeraj showed a lot of those augmented reality apps and those things, which just kind of gives you how you holistically package movie as an experience rather than just as a format. So we don't have that much time, so I just, unless if somebody have a closing comment, I would like to open the floor for questions. Vijay, you want to go ahead?
Just wanted to add to all the comments about piracy, completely second the ideas. I just wanted to highlight two instances. When VHS tapes and VCRs flooded the market, everyone thought it was a significant threat to cinemas. But cinemas bounced back. There was a significantly altered value proposition, enhanced experience, they bounced back. When peer-to-peer file sharing flooded the market, people thought it was a significant threat to the music industry. But the music industry bounced back. Again, things like access, better experience, innovative pricing, all of those things come into play. So I think in addition to clamping down on crime, the thing that really works against piracy is fighting it out in the marketplace, coming up with a differentiated value proposition to combat it.
Thanks, Vijay. I would like to open floor for questions. Anybody have any questions? Sorry, we are running short on time, so I think gentleman over there.
I think, can you hear me?
Would you like to go first, sir?
I thought I will go last, but I'll go first. Sure. See, I am from the regional cinema. Whatever you say that VCRs came and that's a threat to cinema and all that just now you said. But what about regional cinema? See, it is whatever the apps you are telling, every damn thing, everything is concentrated on Hindi cinema. In that competition, what is the regional cinema? See, for us, that is, cinema itself is a competition. Now, all these things put together, the language grows, Hindi cinema grows, but not the regional cinema. We are going towards down, totally down. So what do you think we should do to counter this as a market?
Sure. Sir, first of all, I think you are cinema in your market, and actually Hindi cinema is regional cinema. I think the aspect of, yes, what tends to happen is always, you will see something which is reaching out larger audiences and there is innovation out there. But there's enough things that are beginning to happen even in regional cinema. I'll give you an example. We've recently, done a series of things across Bengali cinema with one of our partners who have been, they've shot the film in a certain way. So I think it's really about marketing to your community. If you're making a film which is going to have 30, 40, 50 prints. That doesn't matter. You know, I mean, you can still be creating innovative programs within the limited budget that you've got to, enthuse consumers.
Now,
I
what,
think
what I mean is, you have to say that, but now, as a national policy, you should take up, including the regional cinema, you should, any new invention comes, you should include regional cinema simultaneously, so that, we grow. Otherwise, by the time you go out of the market, something else, new thing comes, we will be nowhere. We won't have reached the place by the time the whole thing is gone off. Like that, many things have happened already.
So the fact of the matter is that the same problem that the industry as a whole is facing, which is that the time between technology shifts is shrinking, is actually working to your benefit in that sense. Because the innovation happens in whichever market, it starts moving around to other markets faster and faster. That gap is decreasing, right? It took a long time for what happened in 2 or 3 languages of music to come across to all of the languages, if we talk about the physical days. But if we talk about the digital days and the mobile, and Neeraj and I have both experienced this, I mean, it took only about 5 years from the time when Bollywood and Tamil was the main seller on mobile phones to a point where my top selling, fastest growing language was Gadwali. And I was selling Nepali ringtones in markets that you wouldn't have imagined it was possible. And Neeraj can back me up. I mean, we do 21 languages, but he does 33 or something, right? And that's what happens. And that gap has reduced. It took 5 years in the case of ringtones for that to happen. If we talk today about the internet platforms that we are working with, and some of our partners are in the room and they can back us up on this, literally, I mean, the gap is now narrowing down to where it's 12 months, 18 months, because people want to launch with multiple languages and they're catering to those communities, right? The flip side of that is, for any endeavor to be successful, you have to have a focused marketing approach, right? No platform can start out saying, I will be something for everyone. Okay, any internet platform that starts out saying, I am going to do 47 languages worldwide simultaneously and do a decent job marketing to all of them, either has a lot of money or is talking through their hat. So what do? You start with a market, a language, a community, take that, build a success, and then build on it. We all love to talk about Netflix. How many people here remember that Netflix started in one market, the US? They said, screw the rest of the world, one market. I'll do that, I'll be successful, I'll build cash flow, and then I'll go out to, and now they're in like 17 markets and expanding even more rapidly, right? The same thing is going to happen to all of the platforms that we're talking about here. Our partners that we are working with, we're doing with them regional cinema. And even to them, and I represent 13 languages when it comes to films content, but even then, the first time when they come to me and say, I want all 2,500 films, I say, no, don't do that. Tell me 1 or 2 languages, start with that. Tell me 3 geographies, start with that, and then go everywhere else. Because it's not possible, despite the wonder of the internet, the beauty of the internet is it lets you get everywhere simultaneously, right? The challenge it creates is, can you get attention everywhere simultaneously? You cannot. And so what has to happen, and is happening, and is already happening in the case of Tamil, Telugu cinema, South Indian cinema actually is ahead of other regional markets. But I can tell you, we're seeing some amazing numbers on Punjabi content and Gujarati stuff that you would love to hear those numbers in some of your markets. It doesn't matter. It's about creating communities, and that's happening. And digital gives us the wherewithal to do that purely on marketing basis because the distribution has become cheaper. The fundamental promise of internet was distribution became cheaper. You now have a marketing problem to solve.
And again, those communities are not just local communities, they're diaspora spread all over the world, which actually have a close affinity to your content.
A simple example being my top selling market for Bal Ganesh was Thailand.
Absolutely. Actually, taking from what both of them said, the communities actually, all across the world, wherever they are, if they see some innovation coming in, they all kind of lap it up. Recently, we launched Radio City Tamil online, which was our first regional language radio station online. And we started, promoting it on Twitter. You won't believe that the kind of response we got on that hashtag, we didn't get on any of the other, so-called popular, content. In fact, that day we were trending worldwide. We were number 5 worldwide on the trends, Radio City Tamil. So I think it's just
Next question.
I think Neeraj mentioned about television and the system that is in place today for collection. Maybe it's going to be very complex, but down the line, rather than have a subscriber pay, that is a model that you may have to ultimately follow with a service provider. Yeah, having to
so
pay a small,
then-
rather than having a subscriber pay. A
No,
subscription.
no, no. I
Yeah.
think service provider is a very viable model. I mean, we run services on example Tata Sky, and with upwards of 1 million consumers that we service across 3 different products: gaming, music, and there's like a store which is a TV to mobile store of sorts. And I think the relationship that service providers have, my basic thing is that what gets thrust to us is examples of American business models. And I take a lot of effort. We are large stakeholders, just as a lot of colleagues in the industry. I would caution our industry at all points in time that work on business model towards transaction first. Have perhaps 80% of your focus towards that, and maybe 20%, as opposed to at this point in time online, which is almost the other way around. Because the Indian market for the foreseeable 3-4 year future, and I'll take 30 seconds to sort of tell you why. We are 150, 160 million consumers right now on the internet, okay? Right now, mobile is probably about 60%. Take it from me, same time in 2017, we will be 600 million consumers with about 450 million uniques. At that time, mobility in this market will be 85% or closer to that. Mobile advertising yields as we speak are 1/5 of the internet. They will plunge down further. And you will be literally looking at retailing things, whatever may be the volume that you will do on your content. I mean, the world's largest views of a single piece of content is the phenomena which happened last year called Gangnam Style, right? It has had now, on last counting, 1.3 billion views. Take a guess, how much money did they really make out of that entire thing? I mean, for something that has been viewed, seen by probably half of the internet audience in the world. There's like over 2 billion people who have access to it, it's been viewed, yeah. It's like, probably what, $5-6 million, something like that. And that's that extreme end of what's been done. Yeah. Now, you convert that same thing into a 1 cent transaction ecosystem. That itself, is becoming very, very meaningful. So I think that's the challenge. And MSOs, huge, huge. We would be strong supporters of what we can do with MSOs.
Yes, and think of this.
I would just take that in a different way. I would say the simple way to look at it, the way we look at it internally is, the fundamental mistake everyone makes is trying to get into a battle of which business model will work. And I would point to you that if you go around and look at the ecosystem over the last 20 years and even currently, it has never been a single one-size-fits-all. So the answer is not A or B. The answer is all of the above. And other models which aren't even part of the ABC right now. So yes, subscription. Yes, ad-supported will work in certain cases in certain markets. Yes, subscriber pays will work. Yes, service provider will work. Yes, give the stuff away for free, but then upsell merchandise or upsell services around it. There are all kinds of business models, and it is our short-sightedness to think that we want to choose one winner. No, all of these will work, but each of these will have a different platform that works better for them, and a different set of content will work better for them, right? So that is the challenge. Find that match, right? So in what we are seeing right now in the music industry, where people are giving away music for free and then making a lot of money on appearances, on concerts, on merchandise, that's also a model. Yes. But that doesn't necessarily translate well to a movie. Okay, so great. So what's the other alternative? So, there are different sets of content or different properties will work in different scenarios, and the answer has to be all of the above. Our expertise has to become doing that. Or more importantly, for content creators, work with people who are building the expertise to understand what content works where, right? That's really the...
Thank you. One last question. Sorry, we are really running short of time.
Hello.
Yes.
No, it would be both. It would be both. And I'm not here to say that transaction is the only thing that works. I'm cautioning that in India, where advertising is, already under stress, repeating, $2 trillion, $6 billion, $2 billion towards print, $2.5 billion towards TV, gone already. So it's for that reason that if you went for a micro-transaction economy, whether transaction or subscription transaction, I believe the content industry has much better play to play.
Thank you very much. One last question, gentleman here. Can you please pass mic?
Hi.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'll get back to you, but your question is the last question then. Thank you.
Okay. I have one question for everybody out there is we as content providers are not really bothered about the consumers pirating our music. But what happens to commercial piracy? Like TV channels and radio stations, and there are so many other who are pirating our music. Where do we go for that? If anybody can answer.
Are you, Prashna, you're pirating his music?
No, so I didn't understand really
So,
how
see,
is television
there
and radio
are
pirating?
already mechanisms in place whereby the people that are all of these modes of consumption are ultimately being tapped so that that revenue can translate back to the content owners. Some are more successful than others. TV actually has seen a fair degree of success in trying to translate that money back to, in the case of music, translating it back. But for example, yes, there is public consumption like in a disco or in a restaurant and all, which hasn't seen as good results in terms of translating it back to the content owner. But there are already efforts in place for all of these. I think the key thing is, are we aligning with those efforts and are we making them possible, right? And are we getting the right set of people in place to do those? The fundamental challenge that we face in India is, we are a very fragmented market because we're not really one country, right? If you look at it as a content ecosystem, we're really sort of 27 different countries merged into one. Combined with the fact that each of those, then you have multiple forms of revenue monetization, and then multiple people within that. So how do you create enough of a force, given all of this, to be able to translate it successfully? And wherever that has happened, we have seen the results.
Thank you. Last question here.
Sir, one question, sir, on marketing.
I'm sorry, we are sorry, really running short of time.
I am Director Nagana from Canada. As Neeraj said, the strategy of the release has been changed. You have to get back your money in 1 week. One of my big directors was telling, the release has been changed first week, second week, and last week. This is the strategy has come. As you know, Dr. Kamal Haasan tried for the DTH. Do you think the DTH will be succeeded in India? Yes. The problems, what are the problems he faced to bring the DTH? Do you think it will come back?
Sure, sir. I think that was a very, very, it was an effort. In fact, even during Three Idiots, I know the studio looked at options over there. In my mind, the DTH ecosystem is a very viable ecosystem which content creators should look at, because you already have something like about 50 million consumers with an average, sort of wallet of about 150 to 200 rupees or thereabouts. So if you can work towards that in a certain way, I cut short Steve Jobs' that talk. The last portion of that talk was where he talks about, he believes that digital will start giving a window even ahead of theatrical release. However, if I play that out for you, he says it will be for big money, big money, because your core is still coming from, the theater owners, and you have to be respectful of that. You have to be not only respectful, you have to be practical about that reality as well. But I believe there needs to be some balance of this nature starting to happen, also because we are making more cinema today, and we still are starved of screens, and therefore many a times you are you sort of you have competing films, not getting enough of a presence as well, and it's certainly happening in mainstream films as well right now.
Well, so with that, I would like to thank you everybody on the panel, and thank you audience. Thank you, Vicky, for hosting us. Thank you very much.
Session on VFX. Thank you.
I want, just for clarity to understand from those of you in the room, please say yes or no, okay? Is special effects and VFX the same thing, yes or no? Half yes and half no. This is the perfect panel for you. It's the perfect panel for you, yes. All right. So, question number 2. How many of you have never done any VFX in your whole life? Put your hand up. Excellent. This is the perfect panel for you. How many of you have taken a picture with a camera? Any camera? Put your hand up. Perfect panel for you. Okay, so the combination of all these 3 questions is what we are not going to talk about this afternoon. Okay, right. So this is the afternoon slot on the FICCI MEBC Summit. We've had the pleasure of doing this similar panels in Chennai and earlier on in Hyderabad. And I can just tell you that the VFX industry is the game changer for